Namaste, all of you. Uh, my name is Dr. Vaishali Patil, and of course, I'm from India. I'm very happy to see all of you here after a few years, and such gatherings of NAF gives us lot of energy, power of solidarity, power of love, power of being committed to humanity, and power of peace in the world. So I'm grateful, very thankful, and I have no words to express for the organizers of this conference, especially in the Indian context. I'm not going to talk about the nuclear energy because all of us know how hazardous this nuclear energy is. Or, precisely for that we have gathered here. We know that nuclear power stations needs to be stopped, banned. Not only in India but everywhere in the world. And we, all of us, are committed for it. And precisely for that we are here. So I'm not going to talk about any technical aspect because I'm a social scientist. I work with the people. So I would like to share with you what's happening with the Indian community, along with what's happening in India in the face of nuclear. As you see, such kind of a protest were on from 2005 till almost 2015, especially in Jaitapur area, from where I am coming. I belong to Konkan region of Maharashtra, where world's perhaps not only the largest proposed power project of Maharashtra state, not only the largest proposed power project of India, but perhaps the largest proposed power project, energy project of the world, that is 9,900 megawatt, is coming in my region. And that's of 9,900 megawatt with 7 EPRs and so on. So from 2005 till 2015, there has been a very, very strong anti-nuclear movement. And especially after Fukushima incident, it had got into the peak where many people were arrested, they were in the jail. Some of our activists died with the police firing. Some of us had a ban on entering the Jaitapur area like me. I was banned and still have restrictions. So this was still 2014 and 15. And with the change of the government in India, also in Maharashtra where this power project is. Unfortunately, we have both the state and central, federal government as a rightist government. And the democratic space is shrink so much, that now the public protests have become very, very difficult. Even I was frightened of coming and writing something, to be honest with you. I didn't want to write anything. which would go public. Because some of our activists have got the offense on them, which has been a very, very serious offense, like war against the country, like you are planning the war against the country with the help of other foreign partners. And those are very, very serious charges. So if you are an anti-nuclear activist, you are anti-nationalist. This is the conversation which has been promoted purposefully by the rightist government. And these are serious offenses. So once you go in the jail, there is no hope of coming out of the jail. It's so serious. So you have to choose whether you want to protest very hard outside or you want to be in the jail. And we choose to protest peacefully of Gandhian way. At the same time, keep on saying the truth and our stand and enroll the people. But India is such a vast country, such a big country, so many states and such a big population. And Eric, my friend from Filipino, was asking me, how are the youths in India? And then I said, in India, we are very big. And in the mobile industries, we are the third market for the mobiles in the world. So naturally, our youth is fully with this. Engrossed with WhatsApp, engrossed with social media, engrossed with the reel. And there is a huge unemployment. There is acute poverty. There are big issue of livelihood. And on top of it, more than that and bigger that, is the issue of democracy being alive. So, to save the democracy, there is a movement now. And that's the most crucial, most important, most needed, and it's the response which is the urgent response which we have to give it at this time against the right government. And within this, the anti-nuclear movement is situated. In India, we have more than 25 reactors active. Altogether, we have 1.8% of maybe contribution of nuclear power in the energy sector. And our government still has a very ambitious plan of making it 30-40% by 2040. And in this background, the government wants to expand the power projects, the nuclear power projects. Unfortunately, anti-nuclear movement is not a campaign, as a campaign point, as a voting point for any elections. And for that, only project affected community and surrounding area of the project affected communities are fighting against nuclear. Like I can share in my region, in Jaitapur, people were continuously on road from 2005 till 2014, continuous for 10 years, living their livelihood, not afraid of police force, going in the jail, and being suppressed. Even though they were not allowed to express in 2012, 80 schools and university in that area thousands of the students went on strike because the government started, through the notebooks and through the teachers, started propagating nuclear energy is green and clean. And the students said, we don't want to take an education where the teacher says nuclear is green and clean. And they stopped going to the school. And then the government had to take a decision of taking back the propaganda from the university and the schools. There were thousands of women who came in front and denied the rehabilitation package, denied the compensation given. And first time in the history of resistance movement in India, Jaitapur Power Project people did not accept the compensations for 6 years, almost 6 years. And then when they were compelled, because of poverty, because of need, because of losing livelihood, after 6 years they did accept. But the resistance of fisherfolk remains the same. But now they don't come on the street. They are not doing organized protest. Neither they are having any assemblies, nor any conference, nor any rallies, nor any morchas. Not because only they are fed up, but because they have lost trust in the government that their voices could be heard. So that space is missing. That democracy is missing. Those values are missing. But I am very happy to tell you, after 5 years of long silence, we as a national forum, as a National Anti-Nuclear Forum of India, Movement of India, we recently came together 20 days back. And all representatives from all the states came together to oppose the proposed liability bill. So to expand the further nuclear energy projects in India and to invite the investors, to invite the various corporates to do this, to invite and do the various treaties with various governments like France, US, Japan, Korea, and so on. Our government has proposed amendments in the present act. The present act says that the liability is with the project holder. Any accident takes place, the liability is unlimited as much as the damage is. And all of us, we know the damage is there. Unfortunately, in India, we are governed by the Secrecy Act. And in the Nuclear Act, we are not allowed to do any research in the nuclear power project area, nor we are supposed to publish any research of that area, and not any data is made available in the public domain on the name of national security. Although we know that the Tarapur nuclear power project, which was first of its kind in India, has already been there from last 45 years and has not been decommissioned. And the people around in that area are suffering from various acute disabilities. The percentage of cancer is very high, infertility is very high, people have lost livelihood because nobody purchases the fish of that area. People know that it's not good. They don't know why it is not good, but they know it's no good. Now the youth are not getting the wives to get married because infertility percentage is quite high. Abortions rate is high. No research is done, but people say verbally. People experience. We go, we watch, we talk, we listen, and we know this is a reality. But there is no research on it. There is no public data on it. Nor it is going to take place, the public data, anytime. Nor we can collect any information of the Right to Information Act. Because we have the act on the name of national security, these things are banned. And the next stage, which the government is wanting to bring in this session, is the amendment in the liability. And government wants to put the limit and cap on the liability amount. And you know very well why it is so. Government wants to bring a cap limit to the liability so that the global companies can invest. Companies can come and the expansion of the nuclear energy can take place with ease and grace. Unfortunately, this such a serious issue is not in the public domain, nor there is any debate, nor any parliamentarian knows what they are voting for and what they are voting against, because that has not become a public issue. So that bill is coming up now for the discussion. So in this National Assembly of National Anti-Nuclear Movement of India, we made a resolution of taking a stand against this and going and meeting the various representatives in the Parliament of the federal government and making them conscious, aware of their role and what we are expecting from them. Right now, the non-profit organizations' voices are also not heard. Their licenses have been rejected. They cannot receive funds from outside. And it is overall impacting on the anti-nuclear movement. And there are so many things with regard to the climate change. Conservation and preservations of our natural resources, attacks on it. So what we are trying to do is incorporating the anti-nuclear movement in the Save Western Ghats movement and trying to make it as a comprehensive people's movement for the livelihood. So in India, I would say people are getting aware, anti-nuclear activists are getting charged. We have come together again in spite of all opposition, all resistance, all pressure, all fear. We came together. We had a 3 days assembly. We decided the next plan of action for a year. But unless and until there is a political change, the movement will not get a space. So the movement of having dignified life, the movement of saving democracy, the movement of anti-nuclear, and the movement of climate change. Is something which needs to be incorporated together as a force. And this is nothing but to have a dignified life in our country with communities' access on the natural resources and having the democratic right in practice in day-to-day life. And this is nothing but to have peace in the world. And common citizens of India are looking for peace. We are not looking for war. Our issues are poverty. Our issues are unemployment. Our issues of living the life with dignity. Our issues of having an employment and feeding our children. We cannot afford to have war. And war is also an opportunity for us to make people aware about the nuclear weapons. Nuclear war, nuclear weapons, and the budget which goes in that, which increases our poverty. So we stand for no war. We stand for the humanity. We stand for the dignified life. And we stand for peace, not only with India, Pakistan, but peace in the world forever. Thank you. Namaste.